Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my July wrap up. So if you want to know all the books I have read in July, please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you my July wrap up. July was a great reading month for me. I think it was just, I was a little bit slow with some things due to like just being tired and just wanting rest and trying to prevent burnout. So I didn't really read a lot, but I think I did enough for July. So let's go ahead and get started with this wrap up. So these first two books are children's books, or you know, picture books per se, and that is Full Moon Party, Fairylight Friends. This is written by Jessica Young and illustrated by Marie Van den Bimden. I had read this to my kids. They had a fun time with it. I think my my son, my 4-year-old, really enjoyed it the most, about fairies and stuff, and my daughter enjoyed it as well. And my youngest son, he was just there. I don't know if he understood much of it, but they enjoyed it and they rated it 5 out of 5 stars. So of course I'm gonna also give it a 5 out of 5 stars. But this was a nice little cute read about fairies and the little fairy fest that they had. So it was definitely a cute little read. And then the next book, this is my son's book. I got this for him, I believe in June, and we read it a couple times because he'll be starting pre-K. He actually starts school on Monday, so I'm so excited. But this book was really great. It talks about friendships and how to still be yourself, and that, you know, everyone is not going to be your friends, but, you know, be helpful, be nice to your friends and stuff. So he loved it, and my daughter loved it as well. And that is Go Get 'Em Tiger. This says words by Sabrina Moyle and pictures by Eunice Moyle. So here is the book. And then on the back it says, no matter who you choose to be, you'll be terrific. Wait and see. So this was just really cute. Like, here's the little end papers about friendship and stuff. I plan on getting these other books because they really enjoyed this book. So I'm definitely going to get these as well. I believe they're board books. But I asked my son what he rated it, and he's like, I'm giving it a 5-star. And I'm like, all right, cool. We'll give it a 5-star. But I will say it's definitely a great book, especially since he's starting school. I think this was definitely something good for him to read, and we're still going to continue on reading it because he loves it. And this is the book he constantly requests from me to read to him. Sometimes my daughter will read to him as well. So yeah, I read this, or excuse me, my kids and I rated this 5 out of 5 stars for Go Get 'Em Tiger. So here's this book. The next book, which is part of my little membership book club, I guess. I have to figure out a name. I'm still thinking about it. I think I have a name, but I'm not 100% sure about it. But I have a name in mind. I want to see what the world does, what the universe wants me to name it. But this book that we read in July, we're gonna be having a live discussions along with my members that are part of my memberships on my channel, and the live discussion is going to be on the 7th of August at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the book that we're going to be discussing is The Final Strife by Sarah L. Afrifi, or Rifai. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. I do apologize if I'm not saying her name correctly. But this is her debut. This book was amazing. We get to know more about Sila, Anor, and it deals with their blood. And of course it has a lot with talks about different castes, talks about oppression, segregation, all divided into different groups, which you have the Dusters, you have the Ghostlings, and then you have the Embers. Embers are considered the superior group out of the 3, and the Ghostlings a lot of things happen to them. Their tongues get cut out, they lose their fingers. It's just crazy, right? And then there's a big realization and a really big reveal at the end of who created this world, who taught the Embers what they know. And you know, because if it wasn't for the ghostlings, the Embers would not be dominant whatsoever. And the Embers came to them, the ghostlings, for help. And the Dusters, they're in between. Like, they'll still maybe talk to the Embers, but they're still, you know, the Embers are superior. But you have Scylla, who has a ghosting friend named Hassa, and they're really close. I will say there is some drug use in this book. And it's, I would say, addiction, which the main character does go through this. She does have withdrawals within this book as well. So just keep that in mind if you do plan on reading this. But it was just really interesting, especially about the stolen, about the Akbar, where you have 6 different trials, and the last person standing, if it's a Duster, they become the disciple and the rulers for the next 10 years, blah, blah, blah. So whoever wins those trials, you know, becomes the rulers. The group that they're in, if they're Ember, the Embers still remain in power. If they're Dusters, the Dusters will become in power whatsoever. But I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. This book was a lot to take in. It's has a lot of information about it, which I did not mind because this is a whole new world for me, and I really enjoyed it. I love the relationship that we have with Scylla and Anor. We also see some love interest between Scylla and Anor, which I do love as well. And then you have Jund, who seems like there was some type of love interest, which she called him her coma, which it does in this book. It has a glossary in the back of like the people and the places, so you can definitely reference that as well, because there's a lot of words that you definitely want to look up to have a better understanding of what it is or what place they're in. So 5 out of 5 stars for the Final Strife. I won't get into it because, like I said, there's going to be a live discussion on my channel on the 7th of August at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my members. So I do look forward to talking about it. There's so much to unpack with this book, and of course, like the maps, like just so beautiful. Like, I appreciate the map being in color. You don't see a lot of maps in color to this type of extent. It's usually just one color in general, but you can see the different blues, you have the browns, the whites. You have a lot of color in this. So I do appreciate the effort that the publisher and the author have put into this book, because it's just phenomenal. I'm looking forward to the next one because I need to know what happens next. But yeah, 5 out of 5 stars, but I'll be getting more into this with my live discussion on the 7th. The next book, this is part of our Brandon Sanderson read along, and I like this. I liked it. This is a different world, a different magic system, which I believe this is in the cellish systems, the cell system. So I definitely enjoyed it, and that is Elantris. This was really good. I like, when I was reading this, like how the world is, like, and the names like Raoden, and all that, Serene, it sort of gave me like Lord of the Rings vibes, which I did not mind. It was just wonderful. I love the pace. I believe I gave this a 5. Would it get it? I think I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I love the pace. I loved everything within it. I loved learning more about Elantris, the people within it. It's definitely a lot of political intrigue in this book. So if you like political intrigue and adult fantasy, this book is for you. Or just Brandon Sanderson in general is for you. But yeah, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. It's definitely a wonderful read. I was happy to be in a new world. I was a little bit nervous, but I'm happy I was able to actually appreciate this story like I thought I wasn't, but I'm glad that I did. So yeah, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars for Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. And then we had the 2 novellas that we also read with it after we read Elantris, and that is The Emperor's Soul, and then we have The Hope of Elantris, which both covers is right here, and they were very good. You were still in the world, the magic system called Cell. We get to meet new characters that I found very interesting. Like, I really enjoyed it a lot, like Shy, Katana, Katonet, I can't even pronounce his name, like the Emperor. And this is like, the world I am is a different empire in general. I believe it's called the Rose Empire, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just looking up. I believe it's called, yes, it's called the Rose Empire. So we're in a whole new empire, still in the cell system world, a whole new magic system. So that was cool. So these 2 novellas weren't that long. It was fairly fast paced. I got to have it was just nice to meet new characters. I know we read Mistborn Era 1 and Mistborn Era 2, and now we're in a whole nother magic system, so I do appreciate these 2 novellas. It definitely gave me a big scope of how big the Cosmere world is, and how so many characters are within this book, and how one specific character is in most of these stories. Like, he just hops in and hops out, which of course he's like a world hopper at this point. just it's obvious. So yeah, I really appreciated both of these novellas. I read both of the novellas in the Archive Unbounded, but you can get the novellas, you know, by themselves. But I got this because all the novellas are in this book. So yeah, I appreciated the story, and I can't wait to continue on. I know in August we'll be reading Warbreaker, so that's going to be amazing. But yeah, I gave both these novellas 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed them. I think I just wanted a little bit more, but like I said, I appreciate the story. I appreciate everything that it was giving me. So yeah, so both of these novellas I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. So those are the books that, you know, novellas that I enjoyed. And I'm glad to be, like I said, in this new system, this new magic system. So there we have that. The next book that I read, which I also did a book review about, is This Wicked Fate by Kailyn Bayron. Where we meet Briseis and Marie and all of them once again. I will say I really wanted to, hopefully there's like a prequel or something where we get an introduction of who Briseis' father is. There was never a clear say of who her father was. We get a gist of some of her mother's history and her family history, her lineage. So I don't know. Like, I feel like that was missing. I really want to know Briseis and her history. Like, we know of her mother's side and her history, but what about her father? That was the big question mark that I had, and that I still have. But yeah, I did a book review about this. Of course, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was just beautiful. I love Kailyn Bayron's writing is just phenomenal. But I will leave that link up above so you can check out my book review after you watch this video. But this was just a quick read. Loved it. Loved meeting Hermes and everything like that with the Greek mythology in it. Anything with Greek mythology, I'm down. So yeah, I give this 5 out of 5 stars, and just beautiful. Beautiful. Next book that I also did a book review for, and this is an indie author, and this is the Eos Key Winterblood Book 1 by D.M. Lurie. And it definitely gave me Vampire Diaries vibes. Oh, just so, and like the originals, which I haven't watched yet, but I do plan on doing that. And this was just so beautifully written. I told DM, like, hey, I'm looking forward to the second book. I need to know what happens. I need to know with witches and vampires. Like, I'm here for it. I am. Aaliyah and Eric. Come on. I need some more. I need some more of this world. Okay, DM, if you're watching this, I need it. I need it like right now. So I know you're working on the second book, so take your time, but just let you know. I'm just letting you know, girl, that your writing is beautiful. Even in my review, I said this, but I'm going to say it again. I'm giving you your flowers because you did a phenomenal job with writing this book. Even with the audiobook on Audible, it's just so amazing with all 7 different narrators of the book. It just made the world feel more real, more realistic. You brought it to life, which I appreciate this book. So as I'm raving about this book, I think you all already know, like, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you want to know everything about this book, I will leave my book review up above so you can check it out for yourself, and you can pick this up. You can get signed copies on her website. You can also get the audio on Audible. You can get the book on Amazon. So yeah, don't miss out on this book because it's amazing. The next book that I had read, which was on audio, and that is Amir Mended. This is by Alex E. Harrow. She had written the first book in the series, A Spindle Splintered, and I really enjoyed this one. Now for Amir Mended, I was slightly disappointed. It's not what I was looking for, especially what she had given me in this first book. I was like, wow, I want more. And I don't know, I gave Amir Mended a 2 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't hitting for me. It wasn't giving, like I said, what I wanted, especially coming off with the first book with a bang, and then you have this one. It just wasn't for me. I don't know what was missing, but like I said, it just wasn't it. But it does have like the retelling vibe still, but this time it's not Sleeping Beauty, it's Snow White retelling. So you have that, and you have the same main character in this first book, and she's in the second book as well. We're still following her, and she still jumps into these different worlds, these different dimensions and stuff from time to time as she's living her life to the fullest. So yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. I probably will read it again later on. Maybe it was my mood. I'm gonna try to give it a benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was just me. So I will give it a second chance, but until then, it's a 2 out of 5 stars. But let me know in the comments down below if you read it, or if you read Spindle Splintered. What did you think of the book? Of course, the book is not long. It's novellas. It's really short, but it was beautiful. Like, a Spindle Splintered was beautifully written, and then I was looking forward to Amir Mended. It just wasn't hitting. But like I said, I'll give it another chance. But for now, it's a 2 out of 5 stars. This next book is one of my anticipated reads of the year, and I absolutely loved it. 100%. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Did a whole book review about it, so I'm not going to get too much into it in the wrap up, and that is Beast of Ruin by Ayanna Gray. I loved this book so much. Like, I loved it. We're coming back with Ekon and Coffee, and they're on this journey. They all have their separate journeys about finding identity and knowing who they are, their past and everything. I just loved it, and I love the root. Like, we get into the root of why Coffee didn't know that she was a Daraja even to begin with. She didn't know who her grandmother was, or whatever. She did not know. She was just, and that was taken from her. Having that option of knowing who her grandmother was, of knowing her mother's past, her mother's family, that was taken from her, and it wasn't by choice. You know, her Kofi's mother did that to her, and you'll find out why in this book. And like I said, I don't want to get too much into it because I did a whole book review about it, which I'll leave up above so you can check it out for yourself after this video. But yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Do not sleep on this. Do not. If you haven't read Beast of Prey, I also did a book review. I'll leave that above too, because do not sleep on this series. Do not. Like, I enjoyed it, and I think some people will enjoy it too. It might not be for everyone, but you know, you never know until you give it a try, right? So yeah, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars for Beast of Ruin, and I definitely look forward to the third book. And then we have this book, which I heard is going to be a movie, I think, and I look forward to continuing on. This is a whole different, this is a middle grade book. We're featuring Onyeka is the main character, knowing about her powers through her hair. So we have Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun by Tola Agu. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing the author's name right. I do apologize. But of course, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. So beautiful. I loved the magic within this book, knowing about Onyeka and her father and her past, because her mother did not tell her much about it until later on, when she started having her powers start to develop as she gets older. And not in a good way, because after she uses her powers, she gets really sick. So I'm not going to go into much with this because I do not want to spoil it for you. But I just love the pacing of this book. I love the self-discovery and learning more about Onyeka's powers in general. And she meets other kids her age as well. But yeah, I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for this. So if you haven't picked this up, I suggest you do so. It's fantastic, especially when it comes to Onyeka and her powers, when it comes to her hair. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And look at her hair with the blue and stuff. I love it. So yeah, like, the author killed it. I will continue on reading this series. I don't know how many books are within this series, but who cares? I'm gonna read them anyway. But yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and it's just beautifully written. Well done. And then actually there's one more book that I read, and I really enjoyed this, especially when it comes to knowing more about pets mother and her how her and her dad met and stuff. And that is Bitter by Onyeka Emezi. This book was great, knowing about Bitter, knowing about Aloe and his past, about how Bitter didn't really believe in the revolution and stuff like that, and learning about her painting and what her paintings can do. Just beautiful. Their writing just is amazing to me. I love it. I'm like, this book came out earlier this year, I think in either January or February, and I'm so happy that I was able to get to it. I am going to continue on reading their work. I heard that there's going to be more books from them. I know they're on a hiatus, so we will see, but I'm definitely looking forward to what they have in store for us all. But yeah, I gave Bitter a 5 out of 5 stars. So far, I haven't read all of Onyeka Emezi's work yet. I think there's 2 more books I do need to read by them, but overall I've read majority of their books so far. So yeah, definitely looking forward to what they have in store for us. But yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars for Bitter. So here are all the books. I actually read a total of 12 books, just to give you an exact number. And I feel like this was a great reading month. I look forward for August because I have a feeling it's going to be a great reading month for me as well. But yeah, these are all the amazing books I've read in July. I really hope you enjoyed my July wrap up. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya!